The story of the Igbo people, who chose death over enslavement, is one of the most powerful acts of resistance in African history. This event, known as the Igbo Landing, took place in 1803 on St. Simon's Island, Georgia, USA. It is a tale of bravery, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of a people who refused to live in bondage. In 1803, a group of Igbo men and women were captured in what is now southeastern Nigeria and sold into slavery. They were forced onto a slave ship bound for the Americas, where they were destined to work on plantations under brutal conditions. The transatlantic slave trade was at its peak, and millions of Africans were being taken from their homeland, never to return. The Igbo captives were transported across the Atlantic Ocean and arrived in Savannah, Georgia. There, they were purchased by slave traders and loaded onto a small vessel named the schooner York to be taken to St. Simon's Island. Their new owners expected them to be obedient laborers on the plantations. As the ship approached Dunbar Creek on St. Simon's Island, something extraordinary happened. Instead of submitting to their fate, the Igbo captives decided to fight back. Led by a man believed to be a chief, they overpowered their captors, took control of the vessel, and steered it to shore. Upon reaching land, the Igbo did something that shocked their oppressors. They walked into the water, singing and chanting in their native language. One by one, they drowned themselves rather than live as slaves. According to oral traditions, they sang, "The water brought us here, the water will take us home." This act of mass suicide was an ultimate declaration of freedom. It was their way of saying that no one could own their bodies or their spirits. The event horrified the slave traders and plantation owners who saw their property disappear before their eyes. Some of the Igbo were reportedly forced back to shore and survived, but many perished in the water. The story of Igbo Landing was largely suppressed for years, as slave owners did not want such acts of resistance to inspire others. However, the memory of the Igbo who chose death over enslavement has lived on. In African American folklore, it became a symbol of defiance and a spiritual legend. Some say that on quiet nights, the sounds of their voices can still be heard near Dunbar Creek. The Igbo Landing remains an important site of remembrance, and in modern times, scholars and activists have recognized it as one of the first recorded acts of mass resistance by enslaved Africans in America. The Igbo Landing is not just a story of tragedy. It is a testament to the strength and dignity of a people who refused to be broken. Their act of defiance continues to inspire discussions about freedom, resistance, and the lasting impact of the transatlantic slave trade. Today, their sacrifice is honored as a powerful moment in the history of African resilience.